Good morning, students. Welcome to class 7. I am Rupa ma'am and I am going to teach you science this year. Let us first study chapter 1, that is nutrition in plants. So, coming to this chapter, the first thing that we need to know is what are nutrients. Nutrients are the components of the food like carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, proteins, etc., that are required by our body for the growth and development. Second thing we need to know is what is nutrition. Nutrition means the mode of taking food by an organism and utilization by the body. So now in this chapter mainly we are going to emphasize on nutrition in plants. So let us get into the third thing that we need to know is the mode of nutrition in plants. There are two modes of nutrition basically in plants. One is autotrophic mode of nutrition, second one is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition means when we study the word auto, if we break the word autotrophic, auto means self, trophic means nourishment. So, it is a mode of nutrition in which the organism taking simple components prepare their own food. For example, the green plants. The second mode of nutrition, that is the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, it is the type in which the organism depend on other organism for food or nutrition. For example, all the carnivores, herbivores, etc. Next thing that we need to study is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means the food making process in the plants. So for this food making process, the leaf is the food factory of the plant. And the simple components that are required for making the food are carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. Carbon dioxide is brought or taken in through the small pores that are present on the leaf surface known as stomata. On the other hand, water and nutrients are absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaf through the vascular bundle that is present inside the stomata, or inside the stem. Okay, so now we have got, or the leaf has got, water and minerals and then carbon dioxide. The third thing we need is what? The sunlight. Now this sunlight is being trapped by the green pigment called as chlorophyll that are present inside the leaf. Now using all these three components, the plants prepare its food, and this process we call it as photosynthesis. This can be represented by an equation that you see in this. That is, we can write like this also in equation form: carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight, chlorophyll will give us carbohydrate plus oxygen. So here carbohydrate and oxygen are the byproduct of photosynthesis, which is being used by the other organism. Okay. Below is the picture of the cross-sectional view of a leaf. If we bring a leaf and see it or observe it under the microscope, the view of the inside part of the leaf will be the way it is given in the book here. Okay, so you see here the stomata, which are the tiny pores that are being used for exchanging gas, means taking in carbon dioxide and also giving out oxygen. On the other hand, these are the small pigment, green color pigments that you find, the chlorophyll. These are being used for capturing the sunlight. And the guard cell you see in the book here, they help in controlling the stomata. Okay. Okay. Now, other than this also, you might have seen leaves of different colors. Like in the book there are picture of various types of crotons given here, and you might be wondering, do they conduct photosynthesis or not, since they look colorful, not green. But actually, yes, they do conduct photosynthesis. They have a chlorophyll pigment in them, but the only thing is the brown and the red pigment, they mask the green color. That's the reason we find them as the colorful, and the green pigment or the green color is not dominant in them. Okay. Other than the green plants also, the green slimy structure or the patches that we find in the ponds and all, which is known as algae, also conduct photosynthesis. Okay. Now let us study the other modes of nutrition in plants. That is, I mean to tell you about the other heterotrophic mode of nutrition. There are 4 types of heterotrophic nutrition. Number 1, parasitic mode of nutrition. Number 2, insectivorous mode of nutrition. Number 3, saprotrophic mode of nutrition. And number 4, symbiotic mode of nutrition. Now let us study in detail about each one of them. So the first one is the parasitic mode of nutrition. You know very well about a mosquito. So mosquito actually is a parasite because it sucks the blood of a human being or the other animals. It doesn't do any work, it will just go and suck the blood. So these kind of organisms are known as parasites. Similarly, in the plants also we find parasites. Okay. So in this parasitic mode of nutrition, here we have an example of Cuscuta, which you might have seen here in drawing also. They are yellow in color, which climbs on other plants. Okay. So what they do not conduct photosynthesis. On the other hand, they grow on the host plant and take nutrition from the host plant. So such a mode of nutrition in which the plant takes nutrition from the host plant, we call them as a parasitic mode of nutrition. For example, Cuscuta. Second one we have is insectivorous mode of nutrition. So insectivorous mode of nutrition, here we have a picture of a pitcher plant. This picture you might have seen in the earlier classes also, in your class 5 and all. Okay. So here, so this pitcher plant, they have a pitcher shape modified leaves. Inside this pitcher shape modified leaves, there are hair like structure. So the moment an insect comes near the plant will sense it, and then the insects get trapped inside the pitcher shape modified leaves, and they get tangled in the hair present inside this pitcher. Then once they are stuck in this, the lid will get closed, and then they are being digested in the pitcher shape, and they are being consumed by the plant in the form of a juices. So the mode of nutrition in which the plants traps and feeds on insect, we call them as insectivorous mode of plants. But since they have got leaves also which are green in color, they do conduct photosynthesis in the occasion or during the time when they do not get insects. Next thing that we have is about the saprotrophs. It is a mode of nutrition in which the organism take nutrients from the dead or a decayed matter. For example, we have mushrooms. So you might have seen mushrooms, where do they grow? They grow on the decayed wood. Okay, and also bread that you eat when they are being kept open or when they come in contact with the moisture, so black and green patches develops on the bread. So these are nothing but fungus. So fungi is an example of a saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, also you can find sometimes on the cloths also. In a rainy day, the cloths which are being washed, and if you are not going to keep the cloths properly, sun dried properly, and if it gets wet too much, then slowly and slowly black patches starts to develop on this. So you see, fungus is what? It is an example of a saprotrophic mode of nutrition. The last one, that is the symbiotic mode of nutrition. Symbiotic mode of nutrition, in this the two organisms, they live together and share shelter and nutrients. For example, we've got lichens. In lichens we find fungi and alga living together. On the other hand, in all the leguminous plants, their leaves are bacteria called as rhizobium bacteria, which also have a symbiotic relationship. So this rhizobium bacteria staying in the roots of the leguminous plant helps in fixing the nitrogen. On the other hand, the leguminous plant give shelter and nutrients to the rhizobium bacteria. Now the next topic that we have is how the nutrients are replenished in the soil. So one way of replenishing the nutrients, replenishing means what? Giving back the nutrients to the soil, or allowing the soil to replenish its nutrients. Means when you are growing a crop continuously, they are taking up the nutrients. So that soil will lack that particular nutrient which the plant is taking up. So how do we replenish the nutrient in them? This one thing we can do by what? By adding manure or a fertilizer which are rich in the nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, etc. Next thing, other than this also, we can replenish the soil by practicing crop rotation and also by growing leguminous plant. Because in the leguminous plants, I told you earlier also, there are the rhizobium bacteria lives in the roots of the leguminous plants, and they are a good source of nitrogen. They helps in fixation of the nitrogen into the soil. So in this way we can help in the replenishing of the soil. Nutrients can be replenished in the soil. With this, I am done with the chapter. Let me discuss the question answers a bit. The first one it says is, why do organisms need to take food? So the answer for this will be, organisms need to take food for their growth and development. Second thing that we have is, second question is, distinguish between parasite and a saprotroph. Okay, for this you can make a column. One side parasite you write it, the other side you write saprotroph. The first point that you can write is, parasites are the organism that take nutrients from the host plant. In the column of the saprotroph you can write, they are the organism that take nutrients in the solution form from the dead or a decayed matter. Second point you can write, parasites affect the host plant, saprotroph do not affect the host. Third thing you can write, example for parasite is a cuscuta, and example for saprotroph is an fungi. Okay, with this we are done. The next question that we have is, how would you test the presence of starch in the leaf? This starch test you might have studied in your class 6 also, but let me tell you again. Okay, so you just, for this we need a leaf from a plant. Any leaf will do, any green leaf you can take it, and you need iodine solution. Okay, so when you bring a leaf, and into that leaf you add 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution and keep it for some time, some 10 minutes or so. After that, if you observe, the color of the leaf changes into blue black, then it confirms the presence of the starch in it. Okay, now the third question we have is, give a brief description of the process of synthesis of food in green plants. I told you in detail about this, so you can write about it by yourself. I have explained you the photosynthesis process, how the plants take up carbon dioxide through the stomata, about roots absorbing the water, and the chlorophyll pigment present in the leaves trapping the sunlight and all. So you mention all these things, and you write a brief description about the process of the synthesis of food in the green plants. Next one, sketch you can make by yourself. Okay, so exercise questions also we have discussed. Thank you. That's it for today. Go through this video, read the book. If you don't understand, or if you still find a problem, you can revert back to me. Thank you.